Morning. It is 7 o'clock on Wednesday, October 18th. We will call to order the regular meeting of the Meridian Library District Board of Trustees. The first item on our agenda this evening is public comment. Do we have anyone signed in for public comment? No one for public comment. Thank you. Then we will move to item 2 on our agenda, the consent agenda. We were provided in our packets the regular meeting minutes from September 20th, the special meeting minutes from October 13th, and the reviewed fabrication policy. I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Thank you, Laura.
Second.
Thank you, Josh. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. That brings us to item number 3 on our agenda, the financial reports. We have the complete packet of financial reports for the month of August in our packets. And our action item tonight is to approve those reports as well as the August disbursements. Comments on the financial reports? Or questions from the trustees? Nick, can you remind me about the vehicle purchase and where we are deploying it?
Yes, we purchased 2 mid-size SUVs so that we had vehicles at each of our branch locations.
Thank you. Further questions or a motion?
I move that we approve the August financial reports and disbursement.
Easy for you to say. Thank you, Laura.
Second.
Thank you, Josh. Further comment? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. That brings us to item number 4, our director updates. We have the assistant director and director's reports in our packet. Nick?
All right. I will try and keep it as brief as I can. So the foundation had a quick update in there. We had the diaper drive and the proclamation that Mayor Robert Simison came over and declared National Diaper Need Awareness Week over here at Cherry Lane. And that was the foundation's big event for September. The branches have new wireless access points. So if you go in, we should have a lot better coverage into kind of the corners of our buildings. The more access points we have, the better the disbursement is for our wireless signals. And one of the big ones was getting it installed over at Unbound so that we had good coverage on both floors over there. The staff workstations, staff computers have been getting updated, and we're the big one that I like. I got the picture in there on the bottom was the bookshelf over at Orchard Park for the Friends of the Library doing their book sale, so that we can have that year round over there the same way we have at our Silverstone and Cherry Lane locations. A little bit of movement. We didn't have as much as normal for hiring during the month of September. We were trying to get through a lot of our organizational design updates, and so we didn't have as much from a hiring standpoint as we normally would. We did get 6 of our leaders through the Legal Essentials of Management training, which is hosted by our employment attorneys. And it's a training that we try to get our managers and supervisors through once every 2 years, or 2 to 3 years. And then we also were able to work with the Central District Health to get flu shot clinic and COVID shot booster clinic at our Cherry Lane location. And we're working to see if we can bring them in to provide shots for staff at our other locations over the next couple of months as well. So on our computers and our collection, you'll see here the numbers are pretty strong. The next slide is really good at showing the numbers for how our circulation has been going year to date. Those numbers are of course high. Some of that, of course, is looking at Orchard Park, where I think there was like 18,000 checkouts last month. But overall, we're really strong across the board, and all of our locations are seeing pluses on the checkouts and on door counts. 3D printers continually busy. Our outreach interactions, meaning how many times we're making or having interactions with people out in the community, are up significantly over last year. Reference questions, as I've said the last 2 months, down, but that's really a matter of tracking to a certain extent, and then also just chance on how many times people ask questions. So programs up significantly across the board. We're seeing a lot of engagement with our programs, and we're back to close to where we were in 2019, and we'll be far exceeding that, I would expect, this time next year, once we're fully in the swing of things with the new organizational design and with Orchard Park being open for a full year by that point. Again, strong numbers, especially with the teens, who are always fun. We had them out here today making some noise and having fun, but being respectful as well after school. So it's great seeing those activities and trying to drive those up. And one of the things that I wanted to show on here was congratulations. So we had a staff member who received an ILA scholarship, Jen T, and she also won the ILA, the Idaho Library Association Paraprofessional of the Year. And Audra Green won the 2023 Karen Hake Outstanding Bookmobile Librarian Award at the ABOS conference a few weeks ago. And Miss Megan won the Idaho Library Association Trustee of the Year for 2023. So it's been a good month for those working and serving our library system, and I just wanted to make sure and properly congratulate all of them for their hard work.
All right, thank you. Questions, comments on this, trustee? All right, that will, I always say it, but I just love to see those statistics numbers and all the activity in the library with the programs. Sorry, I love to see those statistics. It's always delightful to see the increase in door counts and all of that program activity. It's just fantastic to see, and I'm delighted to hear that we're just about where we were before things took a turn with COVID. So that brings us to item number 5 on our agenda, the salary schedule. The updated salary schedule was provided to us in our packets. Nick, do you have any additional comment there?
I do. So I had this in the consent agenda, but I wanted to take it out so that we could so I could explain it a little bit. There are 3 changes on the salary schedule. Looking at, I should have had it pulled up. Looking at grades 2, 6, and 9. Let me pull that up because I don't want to get that wrong, because I just did that off the top of my head, and now 2, 3, and 9. Okay, thank you. So what we're looking at there is the way that it had been set up was in a spreadsheet, and when I reviewed the spreadsheet, the formula, there was no formula for how we got from the minimum to the midpoint to the maximum. And so in reviewing that, I wanted to make sure that we had proper consistency, and we did not have that with the salary schedule that we've been using. The numbers more or less looked good if you stayed within each column, but there wasn't consistency throughout to go from 100% to 150% from the starting wage. And so If you look at the minimum and then the midpoint, it is now consistently at 100% for minimum, 125% for midpoint, and 150% for maximum, so that there is true consistency on each of the pay grades. In order to do that without reducing the higher midpoint that had been listed on grades 3 and 9, raising the minimums on those to match, and then raising the midpoint and maximum on grade 3 to properly match the minimum starting point on grade 2. So a little confusing, but it was math cleanup more than anything.
Thank you, Nick. Well, I think it is important to have that consistent across the board, right? For the both perception and reality of fairness and how that structure works. So I appreciate that effort. Any questions for Nick? Or I would entertain a motion.
Madam Chair.
Go ahead, Josh.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the salary schedule as presented.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeff. Further comment? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. That brings us to item number 6 on our agenda. I would make a motion that we move into executive session pursuant to Idaho Code 742061C to acquire an interest in real property, and Idaho Code 742061F to communicate with legal counsel for the public agency to discuss the legal ramifications of and legal options for pending litigation, controversies not yet being litigated but imminently likely to be litigated. We'll roll call in. Laura?
Yes.
Josh?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
And I'm Megan. Yes. It is 7:12 and we are in an executive session.